Inclusive education is actually a very simple process. It's children with special needs, children with diverse needs going to their community school and being in classes with other children their own age. That's a very simple concept. The problem is we need to build the conditions to support those children and to support their teachers to make it possible. And we're still working on how to do that in Canadian schools. There are many great examples. Many schools are doing it effectively, but we have to work to see that all of our schools in Canada can accomplish this and do it with proficiency. Including children in regular classrooms with their peers is important because it's part of how we socialize them, build their social capital, their relationships with other boys and girls who will mature to become adults in their community. So it's not only necessary for academic purposes, but for social purposes. On the academic side, it's clear that children benefit from being around 20, 25 other children their own age, hours every day, 5 days a week, 40 weeks a year. They benefit from the modeling and from the participation with other children their own age. Academically, inclusive education can be made to work. There are many examples of how it does. And socially, emotionally, it benefits children in profound ways. There are a number of things happening in today's schools that support the development of inclusive education. Some of them are pedagogical. For example, there's increasing use of universal design for learning. The idea that when you structure curriculum and when you plan instruction, you do it keeping in mind that you have a diverse group of students in the class. This has not always been the case. Too often teachers have structured instruction for the supposed middle typical child, and children who have learning challenges or children who need to be challenged are sort of on the edges. So use of universal design for learning, differentiated instruction, cooperative learning, all of these pedagogical approaches have helped enhance delivering inclusive education. Another innovation that's made a big difference is the focus on supporting classroom teachers. Actually having professional teachers with experience and competence going into the classroom, helping teachers with the problems they encounter, and coaching them through to better practice. Those are the things that really make a difference. And of course, there's also the need for educational assistance to provide support for children who are on very personalized plans. All of these things together, I think, really increase the capacity of the school and the classroom to accommodate children that haven't been accommodated successfully before. The single biggest challenge to making inclusive education work is leadership. Having leadership in the school, and not just by the school principal, but by a school team that works to support classroom teachers. Leadership can lead to better support, which means that teachers are able to address the challenges that they face, the problems that they encounter on a day-to-day basis in the classroom. And increasingly, and you'll follow this in the media if you monitor it, there are lots of stories about behavior and children with challenging behaviors that schools seem not to know what to do about. And I think that the resolution of these challenges is through building a comprehensive school approach to supporting teachers to solve those problems as they come up, solve them immediately, and solve them effectively. So leadership in the school, competence in the classroom, partnerships, collaboration within the school will meet those challenges and help us be successful. It would be nice to think that schools and teachers would accommodate children, be inclusive with little or no effort by parents and families or the associations that support them. My experience is that that's not the case. Parents have to be active. They have to work and partner with the school. They have to lay out what they hope to achieve with their child in the school. And they have to hold the school accountable for achieving those results. Advocacy, speaking up, speaking truth, speaking forward on issues is a very important element of making inclusive education work. We have a well-developed human rights and adjudication process in Canada, and that can be very important. It's the final thing you can fall back on when more informal efforts to deal with issues around schooling have not produced good results. But I really want to emphasize that advocacy at the school level, determined but respectful advocacy with the people that work in your child's school, is the first step towards moving forward. There will be disagreements between teachers and parents, but they can be resolved if people work together, listen to each other, and focus on the outcomes that should be held in common. The formal structure of human rights can be a backup. It can be useful. It's there, but it's not the first choice. The first choice is active, clear advocacy, partnership with the teachers and the school leadership in your community school. It's important to advocate for inclusive education for individual children because it's important to each and every one of them that they be included as part of their school community. It's important for the schools because schools need to develop practices to accommodate a diverse student population, and diversity in our schools is increasing, not decreasing. It's important because funding for education has to ensure that we use the investments that are made in our community schools effectively, and building a stronger community school is better than building a separate track for children with disabilities and special needs. And it's important for our society because Canada is an inclusive country. We're a country that embraces diversity, and including children with various needs, with various diverse conditions or learning challenges within local community schools is a vital part of this whole effort.